40 Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 40 racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 40racewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The Dungeon Labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
Presentation.
Well, this is truly going to be the biggest test of driver and machine here tonight. Round number 2 of the 3rd season of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. It's the Flash Photos Grand Prix of Georgia. Georgia, the state, not the country. Welcome into Road Atlanta. There's some other fancy sponsorship arena titling of this great racing venue. 2.5 miles and change, 12 turns, and every single turn is a spot rife with danger here tonight for the second round of the season. Welcome into Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. It's Tommy Cook, and we got Mr. Jeff Mathis back on the call here tonight. Things went so well last week at Phillip Island for a handful of drivers. Something tells me that not a lot of things are going to go well here tonight for anybody.
Hello, Tommy. Thanks for having me back again. I think this is going to be a very exciting race. The safety car has been fueled up. I think it's going to get a fair amount of use out of it tonight.
I certainly think we are going to see our first caution of the season here this evening. Let's take a look at the point standings before we go much further into the telecast here tonight. Of course, with the big win last week, Byron Daly on top of the point standings. His 4th career feature victory nets him a 4-point lead over Joao de Gregorio, who got 4th in the feature and the sprint win to get himself 2nd in the standings. Thiago Spencer there in 3rd, Kevin Bonomi and Tanner DeFabis. Pretty well how they rounded out, or pretty close to anyway, the feature finishing order. Zachary Smith with the 4D Racewear AM feature victory last week with a slim lead over Kyle Allen, Travis Scrameda, Sarah Guerra, and Cody Claiborne. Those are the top 5 in the standings. You and I were talking about maybe some drivers to watch out for here this evening. Of course, that is a pretty stacked left side of this points graphic here.
Yes, currently qualifying's going on. Joao Di Gregorio is currently on provisional pole. Watching in practice, we had multiple drivers in the 1 minute 3 second bracket and a handful in the 1 minute 2 second bracket. Tristan Moss, Costello, Spencer, Sherlock, and DeFabus all under that 103. It's going to be a very fast night, and I think we're going to have a good shootout for pole here.
I mean, 63 seconds around this track. That is ridiculous. And I know you know it's ridiculous, but I want the folks at home to know how ridiculous this is as well. I mean, we'll go kickpot cam here with Joao Di Gregorio. He's headed down the hill here. Well, we haven't caught him on a full lap, but regardless, I mean, he is on provisional pole, like you said. And it just... they're going so fast. 2.5 miles in, almost right around a minute.
It is a very fast track, and that is going to make it very qualifying to be very important tonight because there isn't a lot of heavy braking or big passing opportunities. This car is very fast through the corners, so it doesn't spend a lot of time braking here. It spends a lot of time nearly full throttle going through corners. This is a very important session, so seeing Spencer currently at a 1 minute 3.115, which just got eclipsed by Sherlock at 1 minute 30. I think that's going to be it's going to be very important for them to start up there this evening.
And we were just on board with Di Gregorio, and his lap got him back provisional pole after Titus Sherlock had just overtaken him for those honors. As,
1 minute 2.986. That is a blistering pole lap here, which is once again just been usurped.
And that was Thiago Spencer. But Spencer, one of a handful of drivers who ran into some problems last week. And he, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, he's going to have to start from the pits here for this sprint race.
He is going to have to start from the pits. Him and Jeff Lawler are both pit starts. However, they are allowed to qualify. So this is going to put him in a great spot of being the first pit stall on pit road. So once he's allowed to go, he's actually with this pit lane here, he probably won't even have to deal with the pit road speed limiter at any point. He'll just be able to go from his pit box.
Tanner DeFabus on his final lap just jumped up to 4th fastest. Serguera was awfully quick in practice as well. Now 12th quickest right now. That is 2nd highest AM. Provisionally on the starting grid right now behind Kyle Allen, who's put a lap up into the top 10. But Gator, a pretty solid lap there, P12 for the 4D Racewear AM grid. One driver that was not sporting much pace in practice, last week's feature winner, Byron Daly, he just went 7th fastest, so at least he bust out a good qualifying lap there. And here's Drew Such, who had no such luck last week, as he was involved in accidents, I believe, in both of the races, if not just the feature. May have snuck into the top 10 in the sprint. I can't quite remember, but either way, he'll be looking for a better feature result here this evening, and he'll also be hoping to post a lap here. So I think he went off track on both of his previous attempts. Hovering right around 30 drivers on the starting grid. A couple of drivers making their season debuts and returns. One of them is Dakota DeMade. His qualifying lap is already over. No laps from Such. We'll see if that changes. Jeff Groff, Peter Donchek, or Sebring Stoll.
Currently unknown if Sebring's going to be making the grid. Currently is showing disconnected and hasn't shown back up. We still have 3 minutes left, so they could still give us a little surprise.
Great work there by Drew Such, P11 on the lap there for driver 28. Nicely done. And Such is the only driver out on the track currently. I said we were hovering around 30. Make it 30 flat. And you clued me into something that I did not know about right now. Thiago Spencer, regardless of the penalty or not, provisionally in a good spot to pick up an extra little bit of moolah.
Yes, so pole sitters for the sprint race, because the sprint race is the only session here determined by the raw qualifying pace. Pole sitters for the sprint race get $10, so he's potentially earned himself now $20 on the season.
Very, very cool. He'll be hoping to go one spot better than what he did in last week's sprint, but boy, is he going to have a lot of work to do with that, having to make a start from the pit lane. He'll be hoping that maybe some folks will crash out and he can maybe somehow, against all hope, sneak in to a spot in the invert and start up front for the feature. There's Drew Such with a practice start. So a couple of drivers trying to rip one of those off. Tires are going to be a little hotter than what we'll have for the standing start here in just a couple minutes' time. I want to shout out and thank anybody that's hanging out with us here this evening. Drop us a chat. Let us know who you are, who you're rooting for. And we appreciate you joining us here tonight. Thank you to Flash Photos. Thanks to Hunter Engrav for sponsoring tonight's Grand Prix of Georgia. Man, Hunter does fantastic work anytime that he graces the folks in the various leagues across the Turn 200 universe with his in-sim photos. They all look fantastic. So thanks to Hunter going pro with that and sponsoring tonight's event here at Road Atlanta. Only featured on the channel for the second time in channel history. Hard to believe. But it'll be the first time that the GoSquadra Formula Super Series is going to get after it.
With a minute, just over 30 seconds left in qualifying, I do want to point out two quick things from practice. The car that we saw do the longest runs and the fastest runs during practice was Tiago Spencer. He did multiple greater than 10 laps runs, so he'll be, if he can stay alive, he'll be very quick. And also during practice, we saw multiple drivers well above the 25 incident limit disqualification point. So even if we all survive the first lap, there is a distinct possibility that some of the people may be coming down pit lane once they hit their 17x drive-through limits.
Peaks and valleys, rises and falls, and a lot of them are blind and a very long and very fragile car. What could possibly go wrong? It's Road Atlanta here for round number 2 of the season, the sprint race for the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. And your pole sitter is Tiago Spencer, but he will have a pit lane start. Joao de Gregorio will start then on the front row with Titus Sherlock and Tanner DeFabis on row number 2. Michael Costello and Felipe Silva on row number 3. It is last week's feature winner Byron Daly starting in 7th. Christian Jasper to his outside. Jeff Lawler, also a pit lane start from P9. Kevin Bonomi, last week's feature runner-up, will start in the 10th position. It's Drew Such and your top AM in qualifying, Kyle Allen, starting in 12th. Tristan Moss was very fast in practice. He'll be back in 13th with Sarah Guerra on his outside. Christopher Hill and Matt Johnston there on row number 8. It's Griffin Yellen, Justin Knoll, Sebastian Gianni, and, Caustic Soloage. I believe that's probably wrong. But that rounds out your top 20. There is the rest of the starting grid. Is weather-wise, you said not a cloud in the sky earlier. Some cloud cover rolling in here, but still going to be kind of an uncomfortable session track temperature-wise for some of these drivers, I would imagine.
Very likely, and also with the finish line being where it is at Road Atlanta, it looks like Donchak is actually starting halfway down the hill. So there could be some big bunching even before Turn 1.
Yeah, this, wow, that sucks. That absolutely is not any fun whatsoever. As, always got to switch to time instead of laps. Always forget. Hello to NG Motor, cheering on Sarah Guerra. And SJS Games not starting tonight. I appreciate everybody hanging out with us, though. As that time to go, we'll switch back over here as the lights are coming on. Joao de Gregorio at the front of the field. Titus Sherlock, Tanner DeFabis at the front with Tiago Spencer on the pit lane. We're racing. De Gregorio, the whole shot into the right-hander in turn number 1. Sherlock to second. Already lots of drivers off the track, including Kyle Allen, who started top am, and he is destroyed. Quick exit for the 999. Down the hill we go.
Multiple cars off exiting
Tristan
Turn
Moss.
5. And Costello.
Michael Costello as well.
Moss has got a right
big
rear
time.
suspension damage. Costello, I don't see having a
Whoa,
rear
Christopher
wing.
Hill into Caustic. Hill with frustrations after last week's feature, and that is certainly not going to help things whatsoever.
And Hill has towed.
Yes, he has. So De Gregorio right now half a second lead over Titus Sherlock. Tanner DeFabis runs third. Silva and Daly are top 5. As here in a lap or two's time, as Zach Flaum is off. And that is a tough place to get going there.
He's able to rejoin, that'll be good.
Yes. We'll take a look at things that happened here once things settle down, which is not a guarantee, not even a little bit. A good start for De Gregorio thus far.
It appears only 24 cars have finished the first lap.
I mean, honestly, I was expecting less. If we're being totally honest, this is tough. This is incredibly tough.
Oh, a little contact there with, I believe, Scrimata.
Top M right now, I believe, is Serguera in 11th. Sarah and Justin Knoll about to go at it down the hill at the end of the backstretch. Knoll will take 11th away, but Guerra with some space back to Tommy Reval.
We just had a spin out of the chicane. Nick Goyette has gone around and continued.
Well, we're about to have a battle for the lead. And we've got a battle for third as well. Silva pulling up on DeFabis, but Sherlock has caught De Gregorio. And what a rotten start to the season it was last week for Titus Sherlock. And he would love to get himself a sprint win to make up for that. No problems for Drew Such. He is around, and he is dropping down the leaderboard very quickly.
Such able to continue, and after that first lap, Spencer up to 17th, so starting the recourse back to the top for him.
So it's all going to start into turn number 1 with Kyle Allen. That is going to have to be our first replay here. And we'll look to bail out quickly if we need to, with Titus Sherlock close behind. But this is the first accident. A little bit of contact there, and a glancing blow on the way by from it looked like Dakota DeMade.
Dakota having had some time off, his first race back in this car in quite some time.
There's Michael Costello from the blimp cam, and Tristan Moss. Looked like 2 solo incidents, but both in the same section of rumble strips there. And then just up the road from that, Christopher Hill. I mean, he's checking up for this incident here, and oh boy, that's I think that was, not too sure that wasn't Griffin Young. But either way, shot the gap there pretty quickly. That was not Griffin Young. That was Caustic. I even said that. Okay.
I fear it's going to be a very active time in race control this upcoming week. The lead group is no order has changed, but it is starting to tighten up. And not terribly far up the road is Goyette and Labarge, who have both had some issues to start this race, but they are going to factor into the leading pack here shortly.
We talk about how hard it is to pass for position here. Imagine having to get through lap traffic around these basically flat-out curves. I mean, this is tough with 10 minutes to go. De Gregorio holding on to a narrow lead right now over Titus Sherlock. DeFabis and Silva are still in touch. DeFabis trying to ditch the 666. Top AM right now, still Serguera is back up to 11th. Nicely done for Sarah thus far.
Fantastic drive out of Sarah so far.
Sebastian Gianni, Matt Johnson not too far behind. And not too far behind them is Thiago Spencer up to 14th. Only a few more spots to go for Thiago to try and get up into the invert positions and also the points-paying positions for the sprint. Riding on board with Titus Sherlock, reigning series champion, tracking down the champion from season number 1. And you can see the lap traffic up ahead. Luckily, catch them on the straight. Go ahead.
Yes, Goyette is an AM, but he's been a long-time member of the series, so he very kindly pulls to the right. He knows how motorsports works, and he knows where he shouldn't be.
Oh, boy. Well, I don't know if DeFavis caught the memo there. Maybe just trying to sneak a draft.
Oh, well, then we got some battle into one.
There goes Sherlock. He is through. Well executed there down the straight.
And DeFavis not far behind DiGregorio now as well. As Sherlock got the fastest lap of the race so far with that lap, a 1:04.0.
DiGregorio looked out to the right, and then DeFavis looked out to the right of that. They fanned out 3 abreast, but not 3 wide as DeFavis, boy, had a whole handful of opposite lock there coming down the hill. That is maybe the worst place to have it. Probably top 5 in all of iRacing. Just hauling the mail.
Brian Labarge will be the next car in front of the leaders. They will be catching him potentially this lap. Again, a very well-seasoned driver who should understand the best possible choices for everybody to make. He is already into the chicane, so still a little bit ahead of them.
Christian Jasper on Byron Daly to get into the top 5.
Very nicely done.
Nice run for C-Jazz thus far, up 3 spots into the top 5.
And Noel also got Yellen into the chicane there.
And no, he's around. Man, Saragera going to get them both as Sebastian Gianni has crashed in that area. So problems for Gianni as well. Here's Gianni. You'll see the accident scene ahead. And Gianni just looped it in there. Still trying to save the car. A little bit of contact. That wasn't quite as bad. As where did Tanner DeFavis go? DeFavis is back into the pits. What has happened to the third-place runners? Up over the rumble strips, and that thing snapped the opposite direction of where he thought it was going to go. Caught a lot of curb there. That is flat out, and that car is destroyed. So that is the end of a podium run for Tanner DeFavis. It gives some breathing room to Joao de Gregorio, back to Felipe Silva, who's now on provisional sprint podium.
The major benefactor of all this, however, has been Thiago Spencer, who, having passed no one, is now going to find himself in 11th place after being in 14th for quite a few laps.
A couple spots behind.
Actually, he'll be in 10th place.
A couple spots behind them. Drew Such just went off the track. Gianni is through. And now Justin Nolan is trying to get back by as well. Oh, Saragera, your top AM is around down the hill. And there goes Tommy Reval through. So Reval now the top AM driver. 13th overall. Guerra back to 15th. But they are scrapping in front of them, and Justin Knowles missing the left rear tire. Back up front, De Gregorio within a couple of car lengths, hunting down Titus Sherlock here with 5 minutes to go.
You know, Tommy, I didn't expect them to survive the first lap so cleanly and then have so many separate issues thereafter.
Yeah. I mean, you talk about how quickly things happen here at this track, and you also talked about the lateral loading on these tires. I mean, this car is taking a beating because these drivers are beating the beating into it. They don't have a choice.
Very much so. It's a very short and fast lap for them.
You don't think about this track being this zippy, but, you know, we also usually don't run open-wheel cars on it. Sherlock snaking down the long back straightaway, trying to break this toe back to De Gregorio. Our 2 series champions. Plenty of battles last season. With Sherlock just eking out the championship at Road America in the final round. Great championship battles we've had here on the channel. All three of the drivers at one point were in the driver's seat when it came to the points championship in the final round.
It was a fantastic evening.
It's always a fantastic evening here with the GoSquadra from the Super Series. In the sprint race, we got 45 minutes to go later on. As DiGregorio is trying to double up on sprints to open up the season, but he'll have to get through on Sherlock. Tommy Reval right now with a 1.6 second advantage back to Serguera for top AM. Guerra and Cody Claiborne are about to battle for position. That would be second and third in class, respectively.
Just to help fill out the picture, the next car ahead of the lead pack is Dakota DeMade, who's exiting the S's right now. So should not have any impact on the leading race at this time.
2 or 3 laps to go. It'll be close. I'm leaning towards 2, but said that in last week's feature as well. Oh, for the ASRL Sports Car Championship, anyway. Four-tenths of a second, just a couple car lengths. Doing Jeff's least favorite thing and going in the cockpit. We'll switch to the roll bar. Old habits die hard. Gregorio trying to take the long way through, set himself up, maybe for an inside look out of the final turn. Well scouted by Sherlock. DiGregorio is right here. He's going to take it anyway. And DiGregorio is back on point. What a move.
Beautiful pass into turn 1.
I mean, he was working that for the final 3 turns to set that up for the first turn here. Talk about how quickly everything comes up on you. You really have to be thinking ahead for that. But Sherlock is not done. This will be the white flag we're coming to. Sherlock closes. Serguera closing for top M.
Sherlock takes a look around the outside of 1. Nothing's going to happen, but he's got a great run up to 3.
Oh, DiGregorio wide. Sherlock going to have to pull out in the S's to try and take advantage. So bottled up here. Using every inch of the racetrack that you can on the final lap.
Both cars on push to pass. Hopefully they both have enough to finish the race.
Well, if Sherlock has more, we're going to find out here pretty quick.
We got 1 major passing zone left, and that's the braking into the chicane down here. Sherlock's going to get a good run.
Yeah, Sherlock's going to get it regardless of whether or not he has the overtake. He'll pull out to driver's right. Try and take the long way through. Shades of Road America here at Road Atlanta. Sherlock through. Can DiGregorio answer back? A flick of the wrist for Titus Sherlock. Schwa is out wide, but Titus Sherlock will hang on.
Very good racing from DiGregorio there to keep that clean.
Barn burner. 2 of the best. The 2 series champs duking it out. And Sherlock puts last week's woes behind him to take the sprint win here tonight at Road Atlanta.
Spencer working hard to put his last week's woes behind him as he finishes in 8th position.
Nicely done for him. Whoa! Somebody just cut through the entire chicane there. I don't even know who that was. It might have been Cody Claiborne.
And
Sarah-
such is fitting. He may have had a penalty there at the very end.
Probably so. Tommy Raval will take the top AM honors in the sprint for the 4D Racewear AM class. I think Cody Claiborne was the one that cut through there, but Cody will take second. Sarah Guerra spun, but Sarah is third in the division. But it is Titus Sherlock with the win over Joao de Gregorio and Felipe Silva, the top 3 overall. We will have a word, hopefully, with your sprint race winner, Titus Sherlock, here on the other side of the mid-roll break. Back with more action from Road Atlanta here on Turn 200.
4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D racing shoes are engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, all the while giving you the comfort needed to complete those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the latest sim racing products that let you connect to your sim.
Turn 200's coverage of the GoSquadra Formula Super Series is presented by 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel, designed for sim racing by sim racers. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. And by GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. Coming soon to GoSquadra.com.
Dropped.
Back to Road Atlanta. Hoping to get a word with Titus Sherlock, but he's probably hard at work. We'll see if we can squeeze him in here in the next 3.5 minutes' time. As we get things ready for the feature here tonight, 45 minutes. Boy, oh boy. Given what we just saw, I don't know. I don't know where my preconceived notions lie after that. I think the racing was a little bit better than I thought it was going to be, and the chaos and destruction was right on par with where it was going to be. But as we know, with the feature invert coming, the intensity and carnage and chaos can get ramped up a little bit.
That it very much can. Tiago Spencer made a very good comeback from starting in the pit lane to finishing eighth, so he'll be starting third. And Tommy, I hate to say this, but the conditions look faster for the feature.
Oh boy.
Air temp is down almost 8 degrees. Track temp is down over 10 degrees, and the wind has picked up. It was 6 degrees out of the east. Now it's northeast at 12. So we'll be seeing the drafting into the chicane being even more critical this time, and a bit of a tailwind through turn 1. So it's going to be a little trickier conditions and probably faster.
And again, a required pit stop, not for fuel, but for tires. Fuel consumption, though, is going to be an interesting thing here this evening, and with the new rules in place to help maybe a situation just like that. We'll talk about that more in a second, but do want to bring in Titus Sherlock quickly here, as that was a thrilling sprint victory. It's the first time we've gotten to talk to Titus since he took the title at Road America last season. Welcome back to the booth, partner. Congrats on the win.
Yeah, thank you. Very close race, very intense. I'm quite sweaty now. Had to go grab a Gatorade, but yeah, good good start to the event after a pretty awful first.
Yeah, certainly that was rough last week, but that is behind you. I mean, you and Di Gregorio were around each other a lot last season, and you got right back to cutting it up here this evening, and pretty fun stuff at the front.
Yeah, we've raced a lot. He's a very good and clean racer, so I know we can go side by side, and there shouldn't be too many issues. So, yeah, he's a lot of fun to race against, and it's good to get back in the swing of things.
P10 on the grid here. What's the plan?
Well, the plan's always to try to win, but step one is survive the first lap. That could be quite difficult when you're in the mid-pack, so that's the goal for the first lap. Then after that is try to move forward. We'll
let you get going here, but any shout-outs that you want to give out before you go?
Yeah, just as always, the whole Eclipse team. For all the practice we put in. This event, I've actually done 0 practice because I've been home, but they've been working really hard, and they're a great group of guys, so thank you to all of them.
All righty, partner. Best of luck here in the feature. We'll hopefully talk to you again in the next 45 minutes.
Thank you.
And with that, we got about 15 seconds left until we are racing here for round number 2 of the season proper. Going to be a very interesting night. Again, appreciate everybody that's hanging out with us here tonight. Thanks again to Flash Photos. Thanks to Hunter Engrav for supporting the GoSquadra Formula Super Series. And, thank you to GoSquadra.com and to 4D Racewear as well. It is grid time. Round number 2 of the season. As soon as the session officially finishes, there we go. And that's the results. We don't want that. There we go. Griffin Yellen and Matt Johnston will be on the front row. Tiago Spencer will get to start in third with Kevin Bonomi to his outside. Kostek Solwage, will start in fifth. Byron Daly sixth. Christian Jasper, Felipe Silva, Jade Gregorio, Titus Sherlock, the top 10. Then it is Sebastian Gianni and Tommy Reval, your AM winner from the sprint, starting in 12th. Cody Claiborne, Zach Flaum, Sarah Guerra with Peter Donchek, Drew Such, Brian LaBarge, Jeff Lawler, Nick Goyetz, and I don't know who I missed, but that's the top 20. We did lose a couple of drivers from race 1 to race 2.
That we did, and I want to give a special shout out to Solwedge, who moved up 16 positions in that sprint race.
We're underway here.
Tiago wasting no time.
Certainly not. Oh, boy. Multiple drivers piling off here. I mean, that's Matt Johnston, who started on the front row. Justin Knoll is off. Other drivers as well. But Spencer, the leader.
Dakota DeMade has also towed missing a suspension piece.
Man. Oh, boy. Down the hill. Lots of names in this one. Griffin Yellen, Zach Flaum, Tommy Reval, Tanner DeFabis, Jeff Lawler. Good Lord Almighty. And there is the safety car under the caution. We said it was a possibility, and there it is. We're under caution for the first time here this season. Ay. Tanner DeFabis, this has not been his night, to say the least, missing the entire front wing assembly there on the 9 machine. And we will, since we've got a little extra time, we'll just go all the way back to the drop of the green. Because quite a few drivers made their way off into turn number 1 as well. So already here to Matt Johnston, who started on the front row. Johnston, from the looks of it, doesn't get a great start. Immediately overtaken. And up the middle, 3 wide, and that sends the right rear tire flying and a shunt into the barriers for him. Not 100% sure who that was. But then we could just go up the track here. Issue for Griffin Yellen. He's forced off the road twice and then crashes. Oh, man, what a hard shot. And that completely blocks the track in a part where you don't really have anywhere to go. I mean, so many absolutely obliterated race vehicles there. We'll ride roll bar cam here with Brian LaBarge to show you how quickly it jams up. Man, that is a hard shot. And LaBarge trying to slow down in the sand trap and ramps it into the barrier. That is race over for him. Goodness gracious. Titus Sherlock missed most of that. He is up to 6, but Joie, very good jump for him. Up 5 spots already to 4th. Big mover thus far is Drew Such. And I kind of want to take this start from him and his roll bar.
Also, while we're watching that, there is a bit of a calamity going on. I don't think it's going to cause any issues. But Tiago Spencer is a third of the track ahead of the pace car. Right now, the pace car was slow exiting the pit lane. And as many people who have done iRacing know that full course cautions with safety cars are very uncommon on road courses. So I think that has caught out Tiago here. I don't think anything's an issue for him at this time. I think it's just kind of an odd scenario where the pace car has not yet caught him. It's currently in front of Solwesh, who is in second. Going to be a wild run through here.
No contact there. Just barely got through there with the Oh, man. All right, so we're under the caution here, and how is this going to affect our tire strategy? Normally it's, what, it's 10 laps? Or is it, yeah, it's 10 laps or 20 minutes usually, correct, before the pits open?
So the pits are open, however, to meet the tire requirements, you may only change your tires per the rules after the 10 laps or 20 minutes. So they can come in and take new tires right now if they want them. For the last couple drivers, it may be worthwhile, but it is not it will not satisfy the requirements. You will still have to come in. And a full rundown of cars that have not completed a lap yet. So this is the cars that are out on lap 1. Costello, Labarge, Ruvial, Johnston, Yellen, Lawler, and DeMade. That is a fair few important drivers in that one. That's the points are going to get quite messed up out of that. And Spencer has finally, the issues with the pace car have been fixed. So don't know that we're going green this time. Let me see if I can get a little closer. Lights are out on the safety cars, so I do expect we are going green this time.
I'm sure these drivers would like to get racing for as long as possible, as quick as possible. Top 40 racewear AM driver currently, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, I believe it's Kyle Allen in 17th. Allen, Donchak, and Guerra, I'm showing, are the only 3 AM drivers that have survived.
The one that you have missed is the one that we, because he's not a uncommon user of this series. It's Cody Claiborne in 7th place.
You are correct.
One spot behind Sherlock, actually.
For whatever reason, on my app, he is the only driver that does not have any sort of pro or AM denotation whatsoever. So lost in the shuffle, but yes, you are correct. Cody Claiborne is the top AM driver right now in the 7th position.
Safety car is in. We're going green.
Tiago Spencer now having to play defenses. There is one off in the grass, trying to get through. Gregorio up to 3rd. Caustic there in 2nd. Spencer leading. Much more orderly this time.
But we do have a car spun out of 5.
Oh, it's Sebastian Gianni. He is around. Titus Sherlock was just making a move on Kevin Bonomi, and he has completed it. So Sherlock is up to 4th. I think Gianni is back going again. Silva eyeing a move on Claiborne to unseat him from 6th.
Gianni was able to continue.
Wheel to wheel. There goes Silva. Oh, no, there goes Claiborne, actually, to fend off Silva for now. Jade Gregorio is right here on Caustic for 2nd. Oh, Christian Jasper way off in the grass here. He will drop from 5th down to 10th, and a little contact on the way by from Christopher Hill. Now problems for Kyle Allen. Allen with a little contact with the barriers. All the M's shuffling at the back of the field, and Zach Flaum is just towed back to the pits. Back to the front. We'll take a look at that here in just a second. I would imagine Di Gregorio is eyeing a move here down the long straight.
Very likely any time that Soul Edge can keep him behind will be just a gift to Thiago Spencer. Gregorio looking up the inside, very nicely done by.
Certainly Spencer and De Gregorio have done plenty of battling in their day. They did it last week for the sprint win at Phillip Island. And now Sherlock is through on Solweij. Kostic back to fourth. Titus to third. Tanner DeFabis was just moving up the leaderboard. Now he is off in the grass. A little touch of the barrier there as well. He'll drop back down to 13th. After I thought maybe his race was over, but he was able to repair that car in the pits.
Ooh, such wide touches the wall.
That was the car
Should
that
be
we
able
saw get forced off into the grass on the restart. But
Coming into the S there, Claiborne got a wheel off at turn 4 and got all out of shape and such, kind of didn't have anywhere to go without losing all of his pace.
Christian Jasper trying to recover as Cody Claiborne now has dropped down to 10th.
Don Check has had a spin out of turn 5, able to continue.
Well, they're all bunched up here, the back half of the top 10 and just outside. Tristan Moss advancing, plus 20 to 8th. Christopher Hill just ahead of him, plus 19 to 7th. Byron Daly getting his elbows out here on Christian Jasper. Not where you want to be side by side. He rolls out of it. Jasper has 9th for the moment. Claiborne still top AM at 10th. Tanner DeFabis in the 11th. Kyle Allen, Sarah Guerra, the next two M's up in 14th and 15th overall.
Oh, we've had a spin. Allen has...
There's Kyle Allen, and he is into the barrier hard.
Missing the rear wing, but I think the car still looks fairly straight.
Did get in there with the front, but the front end looks okay, but certainly you want the rear.
On some Formula cars, the rear wing is not repairable. Some cars it is replaceable, so we'll have to see where that stacks out for Allen.
Sherlock catching the top two rather quickly. Much faster than De Gregorio has caught Spencer. Quickly take a look back at Tristan Moss, who is catching Christopher Hill rather quickly. Moss had great pace in practice. Obviously did not get the finish he was looking for in the sprint, but he has made quick work of this field thus far in the feature. And we'll look to make quick work here on Christopher Hill for 7th. And Hill, I mean, does he have a kick me sign on this car or what?
At this point, it almost has to have one.
Goodness gracious. Hill will drop from 7th down to 12th, maybe, as Cody Claiborne will go to battle with him. And that's not going to do us much good here with Hill. Hill may have turned in a little bit more, but still, the point stands that Hill has just not been able to buy much of a break here.
Gregorio.
Yes, for second, problems. Joie is off the track.
Able to continue, very much got away with an incident where he spun.
Now he's in the barriers, and that car is destroyed.
Yeah, if he's going to find out he doesn't have a rear wheel here in a second.
All right, well, we'll take a look at this back and forth. We're going to replay during that. Oh, caught so much curbing there into the first turn. Trying to keep it tidy. Back onto the track. And just tried to get on the gas. I'm sure there's still plenty of grass and dirt on the rear tires there. And, it's already sketchy enough with clean tires and a fully healthy car and floorboard. But that one proved to be a bit too much. And that is the end of the race for Joie de Gregorio.
Quick update on Kyle Allen. He had a small spin on the way into the pits. Has been through the pits, serviced the car, new rear wing, and he is back on track.
So we're back to turn 1 now with Titus Sherlock. Now going to hound Thiago Spencer here for the lead. Look to break out the broom for the first time this season. Byron Daly and Christian Jasper having a spirited battle here. Tanner DeFabis trying to get in the mix as well. Jasper has to roll out of it, and boy, that was an inch or two. DeFabis was clear on the front wing of Christian Jasper. But DeFabis will take 8th. Jasper, a 2-spot swing, 7th to 9th. Sherlock down the long straight here, looking to close this gap, maybe look for the lead.
Bonomi getting passed by Sylvia into the chicane there. Very nice, simple pass. And Daly getting passed by Jasper as well into the 10AB complex. Daly getting back around Jasper in turn 1. That was a very nice. This one seems to be the closest race on track at this time. And pits are open, so we hopefully will start seeing some people coming down pit lane shortly.
Looks to be only, 18 drivers on track right now, maybe 17. Not many. Certainly not as many as we started with. It has been a hectic round number 2 feature with our first caution of the season. Full course yellow for a big one through the first few turns on the opening lap.
It definitely appears the major winner of this evening will be the Dallara parts truck. With the amount of carbon fiber that has been destroyed today.
Tanner DeFabis is in. Speaking of destroyed carbon fiber, this car was in tatters after the first lap. And for the lead, just as we look away, he was sizing up the move, and now Titus Sherlock is through. They always do that. Picked the 1 second. I was on him for 2 laps and looked away, and then they made the move.
That's how they know when you're looking. Such has also come in to serve his mandatory 4-tire pit stop.
And that was Spencer just going wide. But now, right on cue, here's Spencer back through. Good God, I'm done. We'll give Zach a refund, and I'm gonna retire after tonight. All right. I'm afraid to look at this one now, because the second I do, they're just gonna make that pass again. We're coming up on lap traffic here, regardless.
That is such fresh out of the pits. So he should have premium tires compared to them shortly, but it does take 3 or 4 laps for these tires to come to temp, so hopefully Such will be able to very kindly get out of the way here.
So 2 of our surviving 16 drivers have met the tire change requirements. Nate Siefker in the chat hanging out with us. Hello, hello. He says expect some drivers to try and go long here tonight. Where do you fall in that?
Going long, if you can hold on to it, is be pretty good as we go 3 wide as they're passing Such.
Here's Sherlock. Spencer hangs on to the positioning here, short sides himself for the right-hander, and a good runoff here for Sherlock. Trying to take the long way around into turn 1. Maybe not. Whoa! Spencer used all the curb, and he is flung nearly into the barriers. I mean, holy cow, the fact that he is not wrecked. Kostick is up to second now. Gone up onto the curbing here. I mean, he was 4 tires over the curb there and up into the air. I mean, look at that. Just bouncing around. The fact that he didn't collect or such or the tire barrier there is incredible, and he's still in third.
Such letting Soul Wedge by.
So Kostek running P2. He is just a little bit under 2 seconds behind Titus Sherlock. And their lap times, actually, Kostek has been faster. So he is trying to close this gap. But now Sherlock, with nobody in front of him, may have a license to just open it up and run away. See if the 222 can keep up. Cody Claiborne and Sarah Guerra are next to each other on the leaderboard, but Claiborne with a 2-second advantage back to Guerra for the top AM position currently.
And it does show Guerra with a pit stop that appears to have been a pit stop under the full course caution.
Okay.
So they still need to fulfill a 4-tire stop as after this point.
Well, this is the closest duo on track right now. Nick Goyette in 12th, Sebastian Gianni in 13th. And there really aren't many more cars running below these two on the leaderboard. Gianni is through, having served his pit stop already.
Peter Donchak is missing a right front wheel. I think he's been out for a couple laps, but I don't fully recall where he went.
He has had several incidents, I do believe.
Caught the curb over turn 3 and turn 4 bit him.
No bueno.
A very annoying way about these cars is the way that you find the most performance out of them is having the front of the car as low as to the ground as possible. So these big inviting curbs that most series really make lap time with at Road Atlanta, you want to use them, but if you hit them just wrong, the floor can hit them and the tires can't grip what they can't touch if the car is sitting on the chassis itself.
Well, we won't have a fully swept podium here with Di Gregorio going out of this race, but Felipe Silva has a shot to take a double bronze here tonight after taking third in the sprint. He's working on Thiago Spencer here, who is mired in some lap traffic for the third position.
Also, I see Justin Knoll is coming in to serve his required 4-tire stop.
Yes, indeed. If Zach Flaum is in the chat with us. I always do this and second guess myself on if that's Zach Flaum or not. I'm pretty sure it is, though.
I'm not certain. I do know he got released from the medical center, so
Yeah.
we may be able to talk to him at some point this evening. I'm not certain.
Certainly.
Oh, and Knoll coming out of pit lane.
Yes.
Oh,
and
that's
he has bent it.
very sad.
That's
Oh.
tough on the cold tires there, especially here. Tristan Moss, Christian Jasper down pit road. And Solweij from second. That is a race ender. What has happened to your second place runner? Down the hill. Over that flat out left. And usually it's the culprit of the curbing there, but he was around before he even got to the curbing. Good heads-up driving there by Spencer and Silva to go through without any further incident. But that has taken Kostek out of the win or battle for either the win or for second. All right, so it's now Thiago Spencer in second and Felipe Silva in third as Tristan Moss has gone for a spin, fresh off of his pit stop. Inside of 20 minutes to go. And Road Atlanta, is reaching out and grabbing these drivers. And I don't think these drivers are okay with that. But it's happening anyway.
This is often considered one of the more European-style tracks and one of the less forgiving tracks. It doesn't have the speed that Road America does, but it also doesn't have the runoff room Road America typically does either. So it's very easy to find something very hard to hit.
It doesn't even have the public transportation infrastructure that the European tracks do either. That's too bad. One of the many victims of the chaos and calamity here tonight, Zach Flaum, is joining us in the booth. Welcome. First of all, let's talk shop here. What took you out of this race here tonight?
Yeah, I think one, it was just my incompetence on lap 1 going off at turn 1. And then, frankly, that might have saved me with the big incident, but then on the restart, I ended up getting taken out by a not so great rejoin, but it is what it is. I just wish I would have been able to complete a few more laps, but when I was completing laps, I was making mistakes. So,
well, you had your work cut out for you on the track here tonight. Off the track, I would imagine it's going to be a very interesting night to be a part of race control. I mean, I think everybody knew that this was going to be as challenging as it was coming into tonight, as we see Tanner DeFavis making a pass on Nick Goyette. And DeFavis now blinking heavily. But still a challenging night here tonight. And even the drivers up front have not been exempt from the challenges.
Yeah. Jokingly, I want to blame Hunter and Grav for picking this track, but also it's up to the league to determine the tracks that actually get selected. And in all honesty, this track there's probably a reason why fast Formula cars don't race here. But you know what? That's the beauty of sim racing. We could do things that wouldn't be done in real life. So if anyone wants to complain about the track pick, that's fine. They're allowed to. But if we didn't pick tracks that carried a little bit of difficulty or danger, like we'd be running the same 12 tracks in the IndyCar and the Super Formula, so that'd get boring after a bit.
Zach, I think it's fair to say no one is going to complain to the Formula Racing Series for not picking interesting tracks.
Yeah.
Maybe not the best choices, but we've definitely not picked boring choices.
I mean,
Go ahead, a symbol off and on there.
I still want to get FIS back to Monza Junior, but people have pushed back against that one. It's happened before. I think I got a top 5 there.
That has Dakota DeMate's fingerprints all over it.
There's a high possibility that he was responsible. Yes, that was back when he was a main admin for the Formula Indy Series before we had control over it.
So what's it going to take to finish it off here? The majority of these drivers still have to make their pit stops. Pitting out, already difficult on its own. Also more difficult by the fact that you'll have cold tires here. I mean, do you like waiting as long as you possibly can to get your pit stop in? Or do you want to come in as soon as possible and just get it over with?
Yeah, I mean, my plan was to run long, maybe even 30 laps on the first set of tires and then come in with maybe 10 minutes to go. The cold tires were treacherous, and I think that's actually what caught quite a few people out on the restart. Was Cody Claiborne was saying that the tires were colder than they are when you come out of the pits on fresh ones after the cautions. So I think that might have caught some people out. I think you want to stay on hot tires for as long as possible, and then be very careful restarting. It looks like Sebastian just had a pretty big shunt there.
Sebastian Gianni, all 4 corners of this car are destroyed, and he is still kind of just sitting here.
Yeah.
Off the racing surface, but certainly that's going to play some tricks on some folks coming down the hill. And he will now tow it back to the pits.
Yeah, this is reminding me of, what was that F1 race where 6 cars finished and it was...
Monaco nearly in a year prior to 2006?
Yeah.
Yes, but you know what I'm talking about, Jeff.
Well,
I believe Belgium, where all the cars crashed on the first lap. That was a very rainy and sad day.
Yeah.
No backup cars
I think I was
tonight,
thinking of Monaco. Yeah, no T cars.
The Monaco year where the guy won his only Grand Prix ever, I think, or at least his first.
Yeah, was that Olivier Panis? Is that his?
That
year?
sounds right.
Was that,
Very potentially.
Not the most.
there was
well-versed
him,
in
and then there
Formula
was
One.
the other. Who was the other French guy that did a similar, like only win at Monaco and then never touched a podium again or whatever?
I believe Truly did something around that time, although I believe he's Italian.
Yeah, I'm
Still
definitely
romantic
not thinking
language.
of Jarno Truly, but yes, I have heard it's quite romantic.
I'm cheering for Bertrand Baguette.
Well, that's a Belgian.
We may have lost the.
I think so.
I think we lost the plot at some point here, but that's
Hey,
okay.
we got a battle for top AM right now. Sarah Guerra has caught Cody Claiborne for 6th. Thanks to 4D Racewear again for coming on board, and hopefully they'll be enjoying this.
And DeFabus is not terribly far behind them, and he is currently the leading car to have already complied with his compulsory pit stop.
Not anymore. Here's Tiago Spencer and Byron Daly down pit road.
I would just like to give Jeff a shout out there for some very wonderful vocabulary,
Yes.
and it was alliterative, so.
It's beautiful when things just happen to line up so beautifully.
And Bertrand Baguette wasn't alliterative?
Yeah, but that's just a name. Like,
Well-
complied and compulsory.
Oh.
That's alliterative right there.
Cody Claiborne caught out there by Tiago Spencer coming off pit road. Gets off into the grass, and Sarah Guerra now leading the AM class. Spencer dropped right in Claiborne's lap. But
Pit
Cody not
exit
done.
Pit exit is a tricky one, especially for cars on track having to deal with people coming out of pit exit.
So I'm showing Tiago Spencer. Kevin Bonomi, I'm showing him pitting twice. Is that correct? Has he already made his stop?
I'm uncertain of that at this time.
Okay.
All of my all my software requires them to come around through the start finish line again. I only show Bonomi as pitting one time so far, so we'll have
Okay.
to see when that updates.
I mean, Claiborne and Guerra were just slugging it out, and Cody, I think, just hit the pit wall coming in. Hopefully that didn't dink up the car too much. Either way, Guerra has stayed out an extra lap, at least. By the way, Tiago Spencer is about 8 seconds clear on Tanner DeFabus, as here comes Titus Sherlock, unopposed at the front of this field. 10-second gap back to Felipe Silva, and it was more back to Spencer. Kevin Bonomi now in as well. Problems for Tristan Moss. He's around. Looks to have all 4 corners of this car still pointed in the right direction. As Felipe Silva leading his first laps in the GoSquadra from the Super Series. Problems. Cody Claiborne into the barriers and tow.
Sherlock exiting the pits right now. Don't know if it was called that he had entered the pits, but Sherlock is out he's out of the pits, driving along, watching his outlap here on my screen.
Yep, we got Sherlock in, but he is 5 seconds clear of Tiago Spencer. Kevin Bonomi now out as well. As Byron Daly was just off into the grass down the hill, but he is still rocking and rolling. I believe we're off next week, if I'm not imagining things, but next race should be Portland.
Yep, we're off next week for Memorial Day. I figured a lot of people like myself will be heading towards the pinnacle of racing.
There's
the
nothing
Indianapolis
important going on
500.
next weekend.
Don't be saying that to an Indiana man like myself. But yeah, then we'll be back in the Pacific Northwest, and I can assure everyone that track will provide its own tricks and challenges, and we might need to be quite careful in 2 weeks as well, because with the grid size we've been having, it's a pretty tight track, and IndyCar only has what 27, 28 there.
Yep.
And we've been having around 30, so it's gonna be something. It's gonna be a sight to behold.
And that is another very fast lap. That Portland will be almost certainly, for most of the cars, under a 1 minute lap.
Oh, most definitely.
Yep. We might be pushing what, like 54, 55 seconds there.
That sounds
Maybe
about right to me.
That might be a little bit undershooting it, but
Given how fast these guys qualify, it'll be very possible.
yeah.
Very
I'll put it
excited
this way.
to get Portland on the channel finally.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll put it this way. I will not be qualifying at a 54. But I'm sure some of our competitors will be pushing that time.
So I believe the only driver that we're waiting on at this point is Felipe Silva. Sarah Guerra has been on and off pit road, and Sarah, I believe, is the last AM standing. No, Kyle Allen is still running.
Nick Goyette had also not pitted, although he has just turned on the pit limiter down pit road.
There you go. So Guerra right now in the top AM. And has a one-lap advantage back to Kyle Allen. But Silva leading. Spencer, little by little, a little bit quicker than Titus Sherlock here. He's clocked a 103.58 compared to Titus Sherlock's 104.02. So a little under half a second quicker for Spencer to Sherlock last time. But he's going to have to keep that up over the next 5 minutes to even have a shot. And the rule is you have to be on a pit road by the 2 to go lap if you're Felipe Silva, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, likely he'll be the easiest one to notice that because he will be the person who would be receiving the 2 to go. So,
and he will not wait that long. He's down pit road.
Moss with a lot of curb in turn 3 was able to keep it straight. Tristan Moss currently holds the fastest lap of the race at a 103.489.
That is so fast. So here is Sherlock now to regain the lead. And Tiago Spencer behind. And Sherlock must have been listening because he just turned the purple lap, and it was over a second quicker than Tiago Spencer. So this gap is now almost up to 5 seconds.
And Silva was able to come out in front of DeFabis. Pretty comfortable margin even once he gets the tires up to temperature.
So Silva will be on for the podium sweep here this evening if he can finish it out. Still getting these tires up to temperature, but has 2 seconds back to DeFabis. But it is all Tiago Spencer here tonight who will be looking for the Pro Division Gold Sweep. And really not anybody too terribly close to each other for position. Bonomi was trying to catch up to Tanner DeFabis for 4th, but DeFabis has opened that gap back up just a wee bit. Ten drivers on the lead lap. Sherlock might be able to pick up Drew Such by the end of this race. He'll be within a couple seconds of doing so at least if he can't quite get it done.
I don't wish to cause any shell shock for anyone watching, but we are currently tied, which I believe is tying it with the both for Turn 200 and Formula Racing Series. We have 12 cars running, which is tying it with the feature at Chicago Street Circuit from last season.
That was a fun race.
And
I think that was fun.
We do have more cars on the lead lap this time, but the rate of attrition is very similar.
I think the lowest finishing percentage we've ever had. Also a race at Chicago, but Chicago Land. A race that Zach Flamm won.
Yeah, was there like 6 people on the
There-
finish, or on the
3 people
record?
battling for the win, and 5 finished out of, I believe, 21 starters, maybe 20. So, not a great finishing percentage.
Just wait till we get rain on these tires.
Oh, baby. Jeff and I were talking about that earlier. Cannot wait. Silva is being caught here by DeFabis. So we will have a battle for the podium here. Sherlock pacing inside a minute to go.
Daly is also catching Bonomi, it looks like, so there could be a couple battles here on shortly. Although with the time remaining, I don't know that it's going to be able to do too much. I've just been aware of that.
Shortly, this race is over. So the time is now for DeFabis, and he might have a crack at it here down the long back stretch. Sherlock into the final 2 turns, and we'll see if he's coming to the checkers or the white. White flag. 1 lap to go.
Silva stays ahead out of the chicane this time.
As does Bonomi, ahead of Daly. DeFabis will be raring and ready to go. Wants to spoil the podium party.
And Goyette may factor into this.
Yes, he very well may.
Goyette sticking to the right side, pulling off. That's a very good choice by him.
The slipstream there for Silva. But around the final turn, Titus Sherlock wins the sprint, and he'll win the feature here at Road Atlanta. The reigning champ is back to his winning ways. Thiago Spencer will finish in second. And the battle for third over the hill and down through the final turn. Felipe Silva will go double bronze. Nicely done. DeFabis, almost hard charger here tonight, goes plus 19 to finish in fourth. And after the finish there, Kevin Bonomi has crashed into the front stretch, but he will hang on to fifth, with Byron Daly getting sixth. There's Christian Jaspers, 7th. Tristan Moss coming through the final turn in 8th.
Tristan Moss also taking back the fastest lap of 102.944.
Wow. And he takes hard charger as well. Final turn here for Sarah Guerra. And Sarah will take the 40 Racewear Top Am in the feature. Nicely done. Yeah, not quite last Am standing. Kyle Allen had some early problems and finished a lap down. But Guerra, the only one to finish on the lead lap here this evening, is on the cool down lap. There is Titus Sherlock. Well, thank you for hanging out with us, boss man. Really appreciate it. You're more than welcome to hang around for the podium interviews if you like. But if you want to go get a head start on all the madness out of this one, you are free to do so. But appreciate you hanging out with us here tonight. For as much as we don't want you up here at this part of the race, we'd rather have you on track.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it, guys. And this race will be a down the road Zach problem. So
I
Jeff,
love those.
myself, and probably Gavin Sanders or Matt Short will have to go through and hand out some penalties, take some looks at things, and we'll go from there.
All the fun stuff. Well, thank you for the time here tonight, partner. Appreciate it.
Rob.
Okay, let's get into the full finishing rundown here after a 45-minute feature. And always got to click the extra button here. Should probably move this button a little bit closer to help speed up this process. Here are the full finishing results. Titus Sherlock, double win here tonight. Thiago Spencer, Felipe Silver, double bronze. Hopefully we'll talk to all three of these drivers here in a second. Tanner DeFabis in fourth. Fifth place for Kevin Bonomi. Byron Daly will finish in sixth. Christian Jasper in seventh. Tristan Moss in eighth. Sarah Guerra, 40 Raceware Top Am. We'll hopefully talk to Sarah here in just a moment. Ninth place overall. Drew Such will finish in 10th. Nick Goyette will finish in 11th. Kyle Allen in 12th. And those are your finishers here tonight. Everybody else from 13th on down is a DNF. Cody Claiborne, Sebastian Gianni, Caustic Solwish in 15th. Justin Knoll in 16th. Peter Donchak 17th. Christopher Hill in 18th, Joao de Gregorio P19th, Zach Flaum, unfortunately, in 20th. 21st for Griffin Yellen, Matt Johnson in 22nd, Tommy Raval in 23rd, Brian Labarge 24th, Jeff Lawler in 25th. It is Dakota DeMade in 26th, and Michael Costello, the final starter here tonight. Siebert Stoll, Travis Grameda, and Jeff Groff are the three drivers who signed up but did not start tonight's feature. Well, we will start here as soon as I can cue something up. Literally anything. With a chat with your top am here this evening. And we'll pull in Sarah Guerra here. Top am here tonight, presented by 4D Raceware, and ninth place overall finish. A pretty solid night, all things considered. Congrats on the top am.
Thank you.
Not a whole lot of people survived this race here tonight. You were in the thick of it all night long. I mean, how did you keep all four wheels on this car? And then, especially compared to the rest of the AM class, which was absolutely ravaged here this evening.
Just a lot of practice, and I really tried to keep my head down once I made mistakes, just not to let it stack on top of each other.
Jeff, what you got for the top AM?
Congratulations. That was very well done, and very good job keeping the pressure away from your mind and being able to get through that pit cycle. And it looked like it was going to be very close there with Cody Claiborne, and luckily that ended up not being too much of an issue for you. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Well, do you have any shout-outs or anything you want to give out?
Yeah, shout out to everyone at SJS and Eclipse. It's a lot of fun racing for them.
And we appreciate you bringing some chatters along and livening up the stream here as well. Hopefully, first of many Top Am honors here this season. Thanks for the time here tonight. Go celebrate.
I hope.
We'll hopefully talk to you again in a couple of weeks in Portland.
All right, thank you.
Okie dokie. We'll go in search of your third place finisher now. It's Felipe Silva, P3 finisher here tonight in the sprint and in the feature. And welcome to Booth 200 here for the first time. Congratulations.
Thank you all. Thank you to the Formula Racing Series. Yeah, there was a very good race. I did not practice as much as I should, but like it was good to be around there. I did not qualify well. I could overtake some cars and in the first race, and in the second race I was too cautious, I guess. I lost a few positions even though I started better than almost everyone. So yeah, I don't know. I love this race. It was like really, really challenging. The rear tire was burning up, and then everybody was almost losing the car all the time. So big congratulations to the Titus, Thiago, and the other guys who finished in front. So thank you so much. Just also I'd like to say thank you to my brother. We practiced together, and he was extremely fast. I could not catch him. Mari, muchacha, un beso para ti. Thanks for the support. It was awesome. 2 third places. Thank you.
Absolutely. Jeff, that was pretty full. You have anything else?
That was very good, and I want to congratulate you on that start. It looked like you got an amazing start. Have you been doing a lot of practice starting? Because this is a particularly tough track to know where you're going to actually start at.
Yeah, actually, I did, but it's because on the regular racing series my starts are terrible, and then Thiago is way faster than I am when I start. And then in the previous race and this race, I was kind of trying to fine tune the clutch and then have a better start. And for this race, it worked really well. So the other problem is this track is so difficult. You never know if somebody's gonna crash on you. So I was 80% lucky here.
Zach, you got anything?
No, I just want to congratulate him on 2 bronzes here, and that's a great accomplishment, especially in a series with such fast drivers.
Thank you. Yeah, like next race, try to fight for the win. Let's see.
Yeah,
We're
you can
certainly
get up there.
yeah, absolutely. Certainly looking forward to that. 2/3 here tonight. Great stuff. We'll hope to talk to you again at Portland.
Thank you. Take care.
We'll pull up Thiago Spencer now, who will bring home the second place finish here this evening. Back-to-back podiums as well. Welcome back to the booth, and congrats on another strong night here tonight.
Hey, good evening, Tommy. Good evening, everyone. Yeah, I mean, first race was I was just one thing in mind was okay. I need to be at least in the 10th position in order to go in front in the second one because I know how hard it is to go here without any hit and losing the car. So yeah, and second race I was 2 cautions. I don't know what I did in the first stint, but I cooked my tires. I didn't have tire anymore. I almost done in I believe second or third turn. And when Titus went ahead, okay, and I just said, okay, to me, okay, I need to bring car to home, and I'll be glad with the second because I mean, even João, I didn't have their pace. And yeah, the first race was pretty tough. I had to brake too early because too many cars in front, and we get at Constantine effect. So that was something that I was in mind that I needed to do. So yeah, just when the qualifying was good. I want just to get as far ahead as I could get in the pits in order to have a better start in the first race.
Jeff, what you got?
Thiago, congratulations on your second place. I'm curious, do you ever get to do road racing series with full course cautions in them?
No, I mean this series is just I'm not gonna say it's the first one, but because I run in last year I think, and we had the same situation in Daytona if I'm not wrong, and this is something that I don't know, I don't even know how to do, because one thing that I had in mind was okay, I cannot be in front of the pace car before we start, so I was waiting, and I just pushed the throttle, and I received the green flag. I mean, green sign, right? And yeah, I was waiting because I don't know how to start.
Zach, what you got?
Yeah, no, congrats, Tiago. It was a great race from you, and a great save there going over turn 3. That was wild to watch. But I'm just wondering, like, what do you feel like makes you almost 8,000 I-rating driver in Formula cars? Because I surely am not that, and I would like to learn something.
Yeah. So first of all, I'm not that kind of guy that and drive those many cars. I mean, I focus myself on Super Formula, and that's it. Back in the days, like 2-3 years ago, I was like an F3 guy, and I just drove the F3. When we started the migration to Super Formula Light, and then I started playing. But this car, I mean, is the best car ever for me. I don't like GT3, and I tried LMDH. I don't even know how to say it, but the prototype cars, and I don't feel as much confidence as I have with the formulas. But the main difference is the brake, how to brake, and that is something that I mean you need to practice. So if you wanna, it's like what I have for me. If you wanna go further, first you need to practice, and then you need to pick up the battles that you're gonna have, because with almost 8,000, it's like one if I go out one race, I lost 150 or more, even more.
Oh
And
my.
if I win, yeah, and if I win, I win only 10 points or something like that. So it's tough, but you need to practice. When you practice, you're ended up being faster, and when the race starts, you're gonna be in front. So yeah, mainly practice.
Well, certainly looked well practiced here tonight. A great drive through the field in the sprint, and another podium here on the season. Congrats. Let's get some shout outs for you before we let you go.
Thank you. And I'd like to say a big thanks for my wife, because without her, I won't be able to be here, and also my sponsors. So last time I forgot about it, but not today. So Pro Racing, AM Máquinas, and ProSheep Performance. Thank you very much, guys. That's it.
Alrighty. Enjoy the week off. We'll hope to talk to you again in Portland, but nice job here tonight.
Yeah, me too. Have a good one.
All right, he sweeps the top box here tonight. Tied to Sherlock, breaking out the broom here at Road Atlanta, and a hard-fought one that in the feature once again. Welcome back. Congrats.
Thank you. Yeah, it was a good race. Made up some spots on lap 1, and then just tried to pick them off one by one. Zhao made a mistake, and Thiago also made a slight mistake. So I was able to get by them and just run my race from there. So yeah, good event.
I was going to say, at the back of the field, they were dropping like flies. But even at the front, nobody was immune from making mistakes one by one. All the drivers that were around you just sort of fell out. I mean, how are you able to overcome this track here tonight? Because not a lot of people were.
Yeah, it's quite tricky. There's quite a few curbs here that you have to be on them to be fast, but they're very risky. Like turn 3, I believe it's 3, it might be 2. And then turn 5 as well. That outside curb is very aggressive. But if you want to be fast, you have to be on it. So it's a bit of a risk. But yeah, like you said, it's nice to break out the again, because I did that yesterday as well. So happy with the event, and should be good for the points, because going into this event, I believe I was dead last. So should be good now.
Yikes. Well, definitely not dead last, if nothing else. Jeff, what you got?
As I was just mentioning to Zach offline, I'm going to take his factoid from him. So this is something I learned about that my knowledge is great. Titus, I'm curious how the last 60 hours have gone for you, because it appears you have gotten a pair of brooms over this last weekend. And how does it feel to win at least five races in 60 hours?
Yeah, it feels pretty good. The Road America round for me and the Formula Regional Americas Championship went really well. Got the first weekend sweep of my career there, so that was awesome.
Nice.
And because of that, I didn't practice for this, and I forgot about it until a couple hours ago. So I was kind of coming in just trying to get some points, because there's some fast guys here, so I definitely wasn't expecting this. But yeah, it's been a pretty awesome last few days for me.
And Zach, I guess now with out a question, what you got?
Yeah. Jeff, you're mean. Titus, great race, great win there. What's the difference between real life driving with the helmet on at the limit and driving a race car online in the comfort of your own home? Like, how do you get the best out of both situations?
Yeah, I mean, it's not too different. I mean, the main difference is in real life is one, it's quite physical. It's more of a sport. At the end of a 30-minute race, depends on the track, but at the end of the 30-minute races at NOLA, I was pretty destroyed with my shoulders and stuff and my neck. So obviously, it's a bit easier doing it in my bedroom. There's also no risk involved as well, so you don't have kind of fear playing in the back of your mind. Not that you can be thinking about fear anyway in real life, but of course it's a bit more there than it is in the sim. So, but besides that, it's all about just being consistent and hitting your marks, and that's the exact same. Hitting your breaking points, hitting your apexes. There's a bit more of the sim's gotten really good at replicating tire deg and weather and stuff like that, but in real life, I think you have to be a bit more adaptive. In the sim, you get in the car and it feels the same every single time, essentially. With in real life, you have to be a bit more adaptive with your driving style. But besides that, I mean, it's all very similar, and it's good training for sure for real life, and vice versa.
Well, yeah, like everybody said, big weekend, and cap it off with, of course, the most important victory of them all. First win of the season in the Formula Super Series.
Exactly. This was important.
Amen to that. 5th win of your career. Congrats, and let's get the shout-outs for you once again.
Yeah, the entire Clips competition team once again. I had one of my friends spotting for me as well, Jeremy Fairbairn, so thank you to him. Had some fast guys here. Tristan, my other teammate, I believe got the purple lap, stole from me on the last couple laps, so it is what it is. But yeah, they've all been super great, and thank you to all of them, and then all of our partners as well that are on our car. That are our partners in real life as well. Mosaic, Destination Athlete, ProGuard, everyone else, thank you.
All righty, partner. Congrats on the win here tonight. Go celebrate, and we'll hope to talk to you again in a couple weeks.
Appreciate it.
Well, very interesting night. If anything else, this night will be remembered as the first time that Titus Sherlock wins in the GoSquadra Formula Super Series in season number 3, following up his championship season. It was a rotten start to his title defense last week. He is back on the right foot here tonight. But if it's not remembered for that, it'll be remembered for absolute carnage. And there was plenty of that to go around here tonight. Jeff, what do you say?
I think it was a very good weekend, and I think the week off will be very pleasant, and hopefully everybody can take some relaxation and not bring as much carnage to Portland, which is going to be just as crazy, if not more.
Certainly. Anything else to send us home, Mr. Flom?
No, I'm just looking forward to Portland in a couple weeks, and if anybody is at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway for the Indy 500, let us know, and maybe we'll have a meetup for FIS and FRS and FSS, so many S's, there at some point throughout the day.
Well, certainly it's a big week in motorsports, and always very excited to get back to the mecca of motorsports. But we've got more racing between now and the best day in all of racing. Tomorrow night, the Venom Truck Series will be on in the chase for the Nathan Reynolds Cup. The 90 Beeswax 200 from the last great Coliseum, Bristol Motor Speedway, 8:15 p.m. Eastern Time. That'll be a blast. The SRL Sports Car Championship is off this week, I do believe. I think that's correct. If not, then come hang out with us Wednesday. Thursday night, it is the Max v CNC Home Designs Truck Series regular season finale from Pocono, the Tricky Triangle at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And come hang out with me on Friday night on Dirt Vision at Jacksonville Speedway. 410 Sprints on tap, 305s as well, a couple other classes. It'll be a good time. And of course, something happening Sunday. And nothing happening next Monday. 2 weeks' time, we'll be back with the GoSquadra from the Super Series from Portland for the very first time on Turn 200. Excited for that one. Thanking everybody that was hanging out with us here tonight. NG Motor, SGS Games 1234. Thanks to Nate Siefker and Zach Flaum for hanging out with us as well. Thank you to everybody that helps pay the bills here tonight. First of all, thanks to Flash Photos. Thanks to Hunter Ungrab for sponsoring this evening's event and the Flash Photos Grand Prix of Georgia. Thank you to your M-Class sponsor, 4D Racewear, makers of the ultimate sim racing shoes and custom apparel designed for sim racing by sim racers. 4D sim racing shoes are custom engineered to connect racers to the pedals in a way no other racing shoe can, and still provide the comfort needed for all those double and triple stints. Visit 4dracewear.com and check out the original racing gloves for your feet. And thank you to GoSquadra. GoSquadra's mission is to enhance race team management across all sim racing platforms. GoSquadra will connect drivers with teams, manage race events, create and edit stint schedules, enable easy stint adjustments on the fly during a live race, and much, much more. Check them out soon at GoSquadra.com. Appreciate anybody else that helps make things tick here at the Formula Racing Series and the Formula Super Series. Thank you to the entire admin team. Thanks to Zach Flaum. Thank you to my broadcast partner here tonight, Mr. Jeff Mathis, as well. That's all we got for you here tonight from Road Atlanta. Till we meet again, I'm Tommy Cook saying so long, and congratulations to Titus Sherlock, who sweeps the night here in the Mid-South. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.